So that's what happens when you hit go live and you don't hit go live a second time and you just start playing all the intros, and like a minute and a half later you realize you didn't hit go live the second time. So anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Toy Talk. Now that we're actually working, I don't know. I got nothing. So that being said, I know a lot of us have backed Kickstarters over the years. Some of them we look at and we're like, yeah, that's cool. Others, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's cool. But every once in a while, a Kickstarter comes around and you look at it and everything just sort of falls into place. And it's a Kickstarter that you didn't realize you really, really wanted until somebody thought it up, put all the time and effort, man hours and work into. And then you realize, damn, man, this is one of the coolest freaking Kickstarters ever. And tonight, I have two guys from a company that made one of those Kickstarters, and it's Mark and Cory from Skeletron. And I have to say, our love goes out to Ben. Ben can't be here, but he's here in spirit. So that being said, with over 1,500 backers and more than $610,000 pledged, the Kickstarter for the Roboskull MkII just burned down social media, freaking toy groups and everything. And I gotta say, and this is a personal opinion, right? Take it or leave it. Skeletron's efforts and Operation Recall are probably the two biggest Kickstarters that I have ever gone just completely hard in the paint over. Not to leave out Marauder's non-Kickstarter, but I gotta say, I'm excited to have Mark and Cory from Skeletron. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, Chad? How's it going?
How's it going?
Good. How are you? I'm gonna move me. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Look at that. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. What's up, gentlemen? Yeah, there it is.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing just
fine.
right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of cool people hanging out with us in the chat already. So Big Bacon's here. Mikey Kukovic from JMK Customs. You guys know him. So he's here. Big Bacon's here. Woodman's here. George Aiken's here all the way from the UK. Speaking of guys who are real big on Palatoy. So that's awesome that George is here. Awesome. Woodman's here. Samuel Edwards is here. Daredevil Dave. Ted Darklaw, all the way from Hella Dope Toys. What's up, Ted? Where's my mug? But anyway, so Ted's here. Bear 11 Charlie and my good brother, all the way from Canada, Mr. Action Figure Adventure himself, Jay Bartlett's here. 2K, let's go. Am I at 2K, Jay? I don't know. James Salzberg is in the house. Oh, I guess I did.
Thanks.
Hey. I don't know. Whatever. That's cool. Right on. Shark Eyes is here. Skyfall's here. Eric is here. Roll Keeper's here. Rachel Salinas is here. What's up? Tim Hayes. On and on and on. Okay, so we got a lot of awesome people hanging out with us. So, gentlemen, I haven't seen you guys since Joe Fest. How are things? You guys been busy?
You've been extremely busy.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Lots of stuff.
It's a loaded question.
It is.
Where do you begin? I don't know. Cory, start. What have you been up to?
I've been doing some work for a couple different people. Did some work for Boss Fight Studios. That was my big project recently, working on the 6-inch figure of Court of the Dead's Death that was revealed at PowerCon a couple of weeks or months ago. So I've been working on that, as well as doing some stuff for some other companies, doing a little bit of work for Longbow Toys, doing some stuff for Chicken Fried Toys, Delta 17. So sowing my
Lord, man,
my seeds. Yep. So there's a bunch of people out there making some cool stuff, and so I wanted to be involved, and so obviously keeping in contact with Mark and Ben and trying to keep that going as well. And what about you, Mark?
Yeah, well, first of all, we got to hang out at PowerCon, and that was a really fun show too. So
yeah, it was awesome.
I get to see Cory's super cool new So that was really fun. But yeah, work continues, right? We continue on the Roboskull journey, and honestly, it's daily. Every day we're working on something, and so when you have the amount of product that we're working on, and the amount of pieces that go into it, you're touching it daily, right? And so, yeah, it's exciting. At the same time, we all want to keep it moving faster and faster, but like I said, we're toiling away in the factory, working as hard as we can, and we're getting a lot of cool stuff. We're getting packages from China, which is a blast. So we start to see the test shots starting to roll in.
Yeah.
Specifically, we got the O-ring test shots. We even got some O-ring paint masters that came in. And so now the O-ring's moving in production. So it's going great. And 4-inch, I got some 4-inch figures to look at, some painted up at the factory. So yeah, everything's moving, but again, as you start to get into, they say the devil's in the details, right? And so as you're working through some of the bulk of the stuff that you start to work through is fit, how things fit together, and whether it's like a weapon, how it's gripping, or in the case of the Roboskull, how everything's going to fit into the eye sockets or things like that. So, there's just a lot of fine details that we want to work through to make. We want to deliver on the best product that people are expecting through the Kickstarter, and we're going to. So, but it's busy.
Yeah, but there's worse problems to have, right?
Oh, we love it. Yeah, this is. I mean, there's a couple different types of busy, right? This is good busy. This is like, because it's we carried the high of that Kickstarter, and we're still rolling on it. Because like I said, everything's so well, what people don't see is everything that's happening, behind the curtain, right? And that's the stuff that, keeps us going, and we're really, like I said, just plugging away at it, and it's a blast. We have a lot of fun on it.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I was so glad to just witness it, not only to help back it, but just to witness the concept, the designs as things come out. And the more that project rolled, the more you would just see cool stuff. Like, now there's these lightning effects, and here's the flight stand, and here's that freaking Plo Koon mask. And I'm like, come on, just give me more. And then you're like, oh, you want skateboards? Here's a skateboard. I loved it, man. Like, you guys were just banging on that thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then then
Sorry.
it just keeps blowing up, and then before you know it, you're like, we got to keep adding stuff, right? And it was crazy.
Like, I gotta find another stretch goal. It's like, here's a random missile stretch goal. I don't know. Ted Darklaw sends a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. And he says Chad is crushing Wednesday nights. I only crush Wednesday nights because of all the fine people that choose to hang out with me, and I greatly appreciate everybody, from guests to the chat and everybody. I really, truly do. And that being said, Keith O'Donnell, Action J, World Made of Cardboard all just showed up, so welcome. And yeah. And then Patrick says, living the dream is a labor of love.
Yeah, it is.
That was me. I guess I'm feeding back. Watch this. I'm just going to mute you while I'm talking. So that being said, I wanted to say very briefly that, Mark, I'm glad you guys are super busy. Cory, for you, sir, I'm glad to see that you're super busy. You and I talked about some stuff at Joe Fest, right? Everything is kind of public knowledge, but I'm glad to see that you're just kicking ass, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was tough to get laid off from Hasbro. Loved working on G.I. Joe, loved working on that team, and just loved being at Hasbro in general. And so going through that was, it was tough for sure. But the Joe community was certainly there to help support me, and send out their support, emotional support, and, condolences, and, whatever you want to call it. And it was during a time where I really needed that, and so it was really great. Yeah, so going to, hooking up with Mark and Ben, and going to Joe Fest was really the first step into, you know, getting out there and getting in, you know, in contact with these other companies to be able to see what else I can do, you know, with some of the smaller companies out there. And so far it's been awesome. You know, it's been a super fun time being able to see what these other independent companies are doing, you know, and being able to be part of that, you know, and of course, Skeletron leading the way with some of the coolest stuff. You know, it was really great timing, you know, for Mark and Ben to come into my life, you know, and wanting to work with me, and so it has just been, you know, this snowball of awesomeness, I guess, you know, that has been my career as of late, and so yeah, you know, like I say, I'm super happy to be busy as well, and there's a lot more, you know, companies out there that I want to play with, and a lot more things that I want to do, you know, and so there's going to be a lot more of my involvement, you know, in people's collections.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, we felt the same way. Like when we heard the news, you know, Cory's news, we were like, Ben and I called each other the same day, and you know, we're like, we need to reach out to him because, you know, we knew, you know, Cory's extremely talented person, and you know, we're huge fans of the classified line, right? So we have so much respect for what that team has done and put out there, and so when that opportunity basically came up, it's like we got to call Cory right away, and so we felt extremely fortunate. You know, we had great conversations, and then to get you know Cory's talent onto our project, and you know diving right into our 6-inch figure. You know, it was great. So
yeah,
we've had a lot of really good talented people on our team, and then to add Cory to the team was just it was fantastic. We were real excited. Still are.
Yeah, and when that announcement post went up, like you guys straight burned down Instagram with that post, and everybody was like, "Oh, did you see that?" And we were just like, "What the frick?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, that was awesome." So
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I'm super excited for all you guys, for everything you got going on, and I appreciate you guys coming to just, you know, talk some toys with me and hang out, you know, and celebrate your guys' hard
Yeah,
work.
why wouldn't we?
heck yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because I yell in my car and piss people off. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so Cory, there's a comment in the chat for you. I didn't want to highlight it, man, because you know, we had discussed kind of offline, sort of backstage, pregame, that we weren't gonna talk about certain stuff, but there's a comment in there for you. I just left it in there for you, man.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. You know, to I missed who had said it. Sorry,
Big Bacon.
Big Bacon. Yes, thank you so much. You know, like I say, the Joe community and the toy community at large was really supportive during all of that, and you know, it was really appreciated. So you know, thanks to everyone who appreciates what I make, you know, and appreciates the classified series stuff. But yeah, I'm on to bigger and more, and you know, really exciting stuff. So it's all good.
I always tell my kiddo that everything in life happens for a reason, right? And sometimes we don't like it, but it happens for a reason.
Yep.
Mark, here's a question for you. And you know what? Rachel Salinas actually brings something up for me. If you guys have questions for Mark or Cory, please put them in the chat. I will star them. I will get to them. Put them in the chat. That's kind of what this is all about. So, Mark, for you, from Rachel, what scale is getting the most positive feedback, 6-inch or O-ring?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Well, I guess you could throw in 4-inch modern as well, right? Because technically 118 is the scale for either O-ring or 4-inch modern construction, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting when we go back and we look even at the, you know, the sales to the Kickstarter, and then once through backer kit, really it's kind of neck and neck. We have the O-ring Wolf Trooper is extremely popular, and then even the 4-inch Yeah, and the O-ring Wolf Trooper, it's got that conversion kit where you can put a Skeletron head on the figure
Skeletron,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, and which there's a funny backstory to that. When we first kicked this off, the whole idea was, back in the original Palitoy days, the Skeletron figure was a mail-away figure for people who don't know, right? And he was supposed to be the pilot of the Roboskull, and then it ends up going to Red Wolf. And so we just thought it would have been cool if you take a helmet off and there's Skeletron, right? So
Yes.
so that's how the Skeletron worked in the O-ring figure. And again, we just think it looks really rad. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, the O-rings really, it's kind of neck and neck, really. We're seeing a lot of popularity with every single one. It seems like the Skeletron figure in the 6-inch and 4-inch is extremely popular as well. So no one figure is really outpacing the other, which is really cool from our standpoint, especially when we're doing all three. It's it's like, okay, this is a good thing, that we're supporting all of these different scales.
Yeah. And then Aaron Nichols says the pictures of the Skeletron O-ring look amazing. I can't wait to get those with the Roboskull. Thanks for the comment, Aaron, and I might have some pictures. So might have some pictures.
Yeah, if you have the ones that we actually took a couple of our paint masters, and we the test shots we just got and just sent them off to our friend Eddie American, who does amazing photography. And so those are the shots that we've been posting that I think people are referencing, and the pictures, they look incredible.
Very cool. Ritz Murphy says, I can't wait to get my O-ring mark. I love it. Thanks for being here, Ritz. Good to see you again.
Yeah, heck yeah, Ritz. We hung out at Joe Fest too, so yeah.
Yes.
Ritz was singing some karaoke there. So.
Yes, he was, right? He freaking destroyed. Him and Hans Chow wrecked that karaoke. Do you remember that weird little girl got up and sang Pour Some Sugar on Me, and everybody was like, it's awkward, but we all want to sing along, but why are you singing that? It was fun. And then speaking of Joe Fest, all the way from 3POA Podcast and the Valaverse booth at all your major cons, Mr. Laser Pants Ryan is in the house. Good to see you, Ryan.
Welcome.
Very, very cool. Yeah. We're gonna get into all the different figures. I'm also gonna sing some praise, and maybe I'll shill out a little bit. It's all good. Right? Everybody's got to shill for somebody, right?
Yep.
So, one question that I've gotten a lot of, once I posted that you guys were going to be on the show, and that the three of us have been working on this for what, like 2 months, 3 months, like something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
But that being said, are the release phases for the entire Kickstarter program basically? And like we were discussing backstage, you guys do a really good job communicating through Kickstarter what's going on. But I think a lot of people either aren't looking at their Kickstarter, maybe they're lazy, but I wanted to put the phases up here just so everyone could see them. And then if somebody comes in later, I'll tell them, I'll say, go back.
Says,
you guys rock.
Thanks, Ritz. Yeah, and this is, the best communication method that we can do with our backers is do it through Kickstarter. So when we're putting out the Kickstarter updates, and we try and do them at least monthly, we're Kickstarter backers too, right? So we get it, and we want to make sure that people are as up to date as possible, and that's why whenever we get any cool new stuff, we want to make sure we're sharing it with you guys, sharing it with our backers first. Backers are one that got us going, and we want to make sure that we take care of them and keep them as informed as possible. I will say we do everything we can to drive this schedule aggressively, and so the latest communication, that's what we have today, and if anything changes, just make sure you read your Kickstarter backer update in your emails.
Right, 100%. James Salzberg says, I get my Kickstarter emails and I'm always catching up. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It's keep it simple, stupid, right?
Well, we find, it's the best way for us to communicate too with our back. If we just posted updates on Facebook, there's people not on Facebook, so we want to make sure there's no confusion, and we just keep it in the Kickstarter notifications to people.
Yeah. So one-stop shop. Very cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Scott Hughes is in the house. What's up, Scott? Good to see you. And then James Salzberg says it's only shilling if it's dishonest.
That's true.
Mikey says the entire project is so incredibly badass and well done, but the talent and passion of the Roboskull team just makes you want to support it more. Could not agree with that more. Yeah.
Very cool, Mikey. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Mikey's such a rad guy. So is his dad.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, what's up, Cory? You got cat cameos?
Yeah, got my cat friend.
You might see mine. They might make appearances and just kind of roll around behind me. Very cool. Mark, you got pets?
I do. I have a cat, but it's not allowed in this room because I'm afraid it's going to destroy stuff. So,
yeah. Luckily, mine don't jump on shelves. They'll go under my flag and they just kind of hang out down there.
Well, mine's a kitten though, so it's not even a year old yet. So, in time.
Cory, I'm glad to see you have a black cat, man.
Of course, it's a tuxedo cat.
Right. Yeah. And then George Aiken, again, speaking of Mr. Palatoy himself, says, I probably need to incorporate some of these into my Red Shadow army.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. So anyway, these are the phases, and phase alpha is already complete, right? So those of us, we all got our assassin Skeletron'S, which, by the way, the Skeletron'S on that card, the layout is freaking perfect. It's so awesome. And then
thank you.
Fall, we have, everybody can read for themselves, right? Reading is fundamental.
Yep.
So phase Bravo, we got the retro O-ring Skeletron and Wolf Trooper, which is cool. And then we're looking at the Marauder stuff. Yeah, shilling for Marauders tonight.
Oh yeah.
Got the Wolf Trooper and the Geyer Wolf, which we're going to talk about him in a minute. I definitely want to talk about him. And then the vinyl record, which is pretty cool. It's cool that you guys did that, and the hardcover, the Total Roboskull Deluxe.
Yeah, that one already shipped out. So people have their vinyl records as well. So.
No. And then, Cory, this is for you.
Oh,
what's your cat's name? My cat's name is Miss Annabelle Elizabeth Pennyworth of Meowshire Township.
Wow. That is an incredible name. And I love that. But this one is Link, and I have another tuxedo cat, Zelda, that's around somewhere.
See, I thought you were going to say Cuff, and then you were going to be like Rocky with the turtles. This is Cuff, and this is Link, right?
Cory, I tried to get video game names, specifically a Zelda type name through the house. I wanted to go with Midna, but I got overruled by my wife, so we settled on Asha.
Oh, okay.
But we have a gray cat, and I said if it was going to be a boy cat, I wanted to name it Earl Grey, just because I like Earl Grey too. So
yeah, very nice,
very good.
JLS Comics and HGC just showed up. Thank you both for being here. I don't know if you guys have ever checked out JLS Comics, but his YouTube, he does a lot of who is this character and like what is Battle Force 2000. He does amazing like long form videos about characters and sub teams and things like that. So yeah, JLS is a fantastic YouTuber.
No, I've known that, so I'll have to check them out.
Originally, I had two cats, both brothers. One was a tuxedo, kind of like yours, Cory. One is all black. And then I had a American Mastiff, and the three of them, we got them all together, as babies, and they all grew up together. And they were Oogie and Boogie and Zero. My dog passed Zero, and then my cat Oogie, he passed. So we still have Boogie. And then we got we rescued two other cats because, he was sad and alone. And I felt bad because he was like super depressed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at.
Cool.
Black cats. Gotta love them. I love black cats.
They're the best. Yep.
Yeah. Here is another question from Rachel. So you guys have you know what? I'm going to star this. We're going to go back to this. Sorry, Rachel. We're going to come back to that. Shh, don't answer that. we're going to get to that. Random Diorama and Brandon are here. What is up? Anyway, so Ryan, I don't know if you were serious about that cat's name, but my cat Oogie, who passed, his name was Sir Oglethorpe Bartholomew Winston. It's his massive name, Esquire, and whatever. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that because I love those weird names. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. And speaking of updates, so this is this the photo you were talking about, Mark?
Yep. That's Eddie's work right there.
Right. And this is
Eddie
the
American.
production. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yep. This is a production test shot painted at the factory. So this was the latest shipment we got that we approved for production.
That is so good.
It's beautiful.
So that's the retro O-ring Wolf Trooper with the Skeletron head that comes with it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and
then
the cool part is that the Skeletron, so they all come with the same gear, and so you can swap out the head. And then Skeletron has the laser sword, and so the laser sword is I don't know if I'm aware, but it's actually a glow in the dark laser sword, so it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Glow in the dark, back metalized, right? These are all like the big toy things that everybody looks for.
Yeah.
Everybody loves them.
Yeah. Everyone seems to love the glow in the dark, so we do.
Yeah. And then Ryan says that's literally my cat's name, so that's cool. And JLS Comics says Chairman Meow is my favorite cat name. What's up, Crash? Good to see you, buddy. So anyway, yeah, I saw this and this is amazing. So the retro O-ring, that's Matt LaCroix's paintwork, correct?
So the O-ring that we were showing at the different conventions, yeah, that's all been Matt LaCroix. He does, for those who aren't familiar, he does incredible work, does a lot of customs as well. So we knew he was the perfect fit for our O-ring figure. And he really knocked the paint master out of the park for us. So.
Oh yeah, Matt, another good friend. I've known Mikey Kukovic and Matt LaCroix for a long time, and we definitely developed a really good friendship between the three of us. And Matt's work is just out of this world, next level. And I know he does a lot of stuff with Eagle Force too. And I didn't know how much work he had done for Eagle Force, and since Hasbro quit making modern 4-inch Joes, like Eagle Force and Marauders are really the only companies I can go to for that. And he's like, yeah, I did that one. Yeah, I did that one. I did that one too. I'm like, okay, Matt, you did them all, whatever. But yeah, Matt's truly talented. But I wanted to share this because we're talking about updates, and this is one of the latest updates that you guys put up.
Yep.
And there he is right there.
There he is. And that's, I believe, and that's actually the paint master that Matt did. So everyone can see the work that he did on that figure. It was incredible. Even the skull logo, he just crushed it.
Yes. Right. We were talking about some figure, and he's like, yeah, I hand painted that. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
You hand painted that skull, man.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Yeah. He does freaking awesome work. And just the way that red shines, almost like the candy apple red.
Yeah. Oh, and the red, yeah, red's tricky too, right? Because, the person that asked the question of, I want this figure to look good next to my OG red shadows, right? And we're very mindful of that because we want these figures to look good next to other red shadows figures. So
Crash says the Roboskull I saw at Joe Fest is amazing. Can't wait for one. The Skeletron stuff will be on my shelf. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. And then Mikey says Matt's parallel to none. He's the freaking king and incredible. Mikey, you're pretty awesome too, dude. I've seen all your work. So anyway, there's that guy, and then here he is with the Skeletron head and the laser sword.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, you go through iterations. I don't know if people pick up, but you can see like this one has like a black line down it, and then we're like, nah, we want this thing to glow. So down the blade. But yeah, it's again incredible work. They really did an awesome job.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So on the O-rings, I didn't have a ton of involvement in, hence me not knowing. But so are these two separate figures, or are they swappable heads?
Swappable heads. So every pack will come with everything you need to either convert to a Skeletron, or again, just have the Wolf Trooper.
Yep.
Sweet.
So cool. Right. It's a super smart idea.
Yeah. And all built on the longbow I guess we're calling it the Go Ring system, but Longbow's system is what they're built on. So
Right. With the swivel wrist, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
their
So you
swivel
can-
wrist. So they're and their whole with Grindstone Toys, their objective is to make as retro looking figures as possible with some slight enhancements, and that's where
Right.
that swivel wrist comes in with a PVC hand. So it's better to grip weapons, and you're not going to break thumbs. So
Yay.
yeah.
And that's what I love to see that companies like Grindstone and everybody else is doing, where you're taking, it's a construction model that's been around for decades and decades, but we can still improve upon that. We can give them a thigh swivel, we can give them, wrist swivels and things like that. And I love to see that they're continuing the O-ring construction, but making them better as we progress.
Yep.
Very cool. World Made of Cardboard is asking, were these prototyped on a 3D printer?
So so the photo that you're seeing right there, that was 3D printed, and then it was cast by our good friend Raging Spoon. And so Raging Spoon does the Complex series, and so he does a lot of castings for us for our figures, and he does a fantastic job. So the original paint masters that we had were painted in 3D printed and then cast.
Super. And then we got a $2 super chat from Johnny B Customs. Thanks, brother. We appreciate that. Skeletron should look into getting Metal Gear.
Ooh, a snake figure. Yeah. Metal Gear. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome. Someone should get Metal Gear.
You guys could do a super fantastic Cyborg Ninja / Gray Fox.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Yeah, I made a pretty gnarly. Well, I don't want to call it gnarly, but I took like a Rise of Cobra figure and one of those funky Storm Shadows, and I put his lower legs on there, and I took a one of the Data Viper heads, and I made a custom of him out of that. Came out pretty good, but whatever.
Nice.
I make them and then I put them in the very backs of my shelves because I don't like to look at the figures that I make. So they're just like always hiding in the back. I'm like, I made one. It's somewhere, but
those look like some full shelves too, Chad.
Yeah, they're pretty full.
So Cory, yours is filled up since I last saw you too.
Yeah. Slowly building it out.
Let's see that. Look at you.
Yeah. The rest of the shelves going this direction will be filled with Joe's, and so I'm just starting to get those out. But for the time being, these are all my Marvel or my Mythic Legions.
Mythic Legions.
Yeah,
4 Horsemen.
Heavily addicted to. So
yeah, it's impressive.
World Made of Cardboard. Yes, Raging Spoon is back online. You have not heard of him? Just Google it, man. Raging Spoon, or I can shoot you the link. But yeah, Raging Spoon's still around. He actually just relaunched all his stuff.
Yep.
Keith O'Donnell asks, any chance of a custom silver or gold Roboskull? I've seen a silver one.
Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah,
Mr. As a matter of fact, that's in Ben's office. His Roboskull, and this is where Ben should be on right now because he's the one that did the chrome and the gold one in the old school style. So we'll see. TBD. Talk to Ben.
TBD. Here we go. Patrick is asking, hey Chad, have you finally found people worthy of making the Mega Force series you've always wanted? Are you talking about figures, Patrick? Because that's Eagle Force, man. Fresh Monkey Fiction. And again, Matt LaCroix, right? Because he painted those freaking paint masters for the not Mega Force Eagle Force Returns figures, which, man, I love all the stuff that they just skirt that legal line. They're almost like Blade Runners, and they're like, it's not Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
It's this tactical operator guy in a Charlie Brown shirt with a little dog. So how will they be packaged? Cardboard. They're all carded, right?
Yeah. It was fun because on the Kickstarter we said everything would be beautifully carded, and it will be beautifully carded. And so the O-ring, we want this to look real original, G.I. Joe type series, and so you can expect that's how it's going to look. And I think anyone who's received our Skeletron'S will find that we're not skimping on cardboard at all. We wanted something sturdy, and so That's the kind of stuff that we're mindful of. It's going to have beautiful artwork on it. It's been one of the fun parts of the project is all the artists that we've been working on. So you can expect to see some real beautiful art on this one.
The box art, that was Brian Sauer, right? That you guys did. You guys finally busted out the box art this year at Fest?
Yeah. So the Roboskull, the box for the Roboskull, who Brian does the Assembly Required event, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later. But that's the next show. We love it. It's in Des Moines, Iowa, and Brian and Travis, they do a really nice job running that show. And so Brian put together the Roboskull box for us, and so that's what we showed at Joe Fest. We're still tweaking some things on it with Brian, but really happy with the work he's done on that.
That box was fantastic. We're actually going to get into the card art. So whoever was asking about that, Derek. So I put up a couple of examples of card art, but the box, I loved it. Like I was talking to you too, specifically at the booth about the box, like just that little cutout in the corner. It makes that box so unique, and I freaking loved it.
We're glad people like that cut, because that cut is a pain in the neck, because
I bet.
And the funny thing
I gotta
is,
fold this.
Yeah. And here's the funny part. We had been talking about that cut on the packaging for quite some time. And then we started to see like the Dungeons and Dragons figures came out, and then they have that cut on it. And so we're looking at that, and we're like, oh, okay. On the one hand, it's cool because we're seeing someone doing it. On the other hand, we're like, well, we want to do that, and so we're still doing it, whatever. But it's our angle is much different than that, and it just comes back to the angle of our logo, which isn't your standard angle.
So I think I picked the perfect time to start shilling. So hang on. I gotta shill it out. Here we go. Ready?
You just upgraded.
Yep. The man's in the house. Ben here, still in the office, but listening and looking at my Chromo skull.
And there he is.
There he is, right there. Good to have you, Ben. Thanks for being here.
What's up, Ben?
And then World Made of Cardboard, just because every once in a while we got to make a couple of jabs when we can. Says not skimping on cardboard, very nice. Not like someone's company's retro figure.
True. I didn't mean that as a dig on ads, bro. I just mean that we want to make sure that when what we're putting out, we want to make sure that we have a very sturdy cardboard back. And so when the factory was putting together the Skeletron'S, we get a video, and the guy's like taking it, and he's like whacking it against his hand, and he's like showing us the durability. We're like, yes, that's the kind of QC testing we want.
Yeah. Smack it around.
Like, this thing has to get over to the UK. This has to survive, because we've heard horror stories of UK, shipping things, different, companies over there that don't handle packages great. So
no. Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on from here for a second. And again, if you guys have more questions, just throw them in, and I'll either bring them up or star them. And then you guys posted this. This is the tooling, right? The tooling of the Mark II face.
Yep.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. So we got so that's one of the fun little toys that we have here. Oops, where's my camera? This thing is awesome. It's this is part of the, for those that don't know, this is the piece that's PVC, right? So this bit has a little bit more flex to it, and where that is important is when we're trying to fit all of our accessories into the eye, and you're getting some friction fit in there. So that's one of the reasons that this piece is PVC versus the rest of it, which will be likely ABS. But very cool piece. We're super excited to get this in the mail. Everything starts to get, it all becomes a little more real. And you can see some of the details that we packed into the back of it. So yeah, super cool.
That is fantastic. And everyone's best friend, Scuba Pete, is in the house. What's up, Pete? Good to see you, buddy. And then World Made of Cardboard says, whose skull did you use to model that? Yeah. Mikey said that would make an awesome coffee mug. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, it might. Yeah.
That's the next Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Roboskull Mark II coffee mug.
You guys wait when we really start merchandising this thing. So yeah, it'll be
merchandising. It's the Skeletron flamethrower. Cool.
From the cereal. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of card backs.
Ooh, yeah.
There we go. Right. So there's the Wolf Trooper card back. And Alex Horley, correct?
Alex Horley. Yeah,
I got like a million notes, right? So they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, one of the things that Ben has really done a fantastic job is in connecting with these artists. And it started with Ian Kennedy, and then into Ken Kelly. And then we were fortunate that Alex Horley, who had studied under Ken Kelly and was a big Ken Kelly fan, right? And so all these artists, the connections, and and Alex, he just does incredible work. So these pieces, as they start to roll in, and we're starting to see this collection of art just lay out before us, and you start to see the cross sells on the back. It's so exciting for us. Then we're excited to get this in people's hands, and it's like can't wait to get this out there. But yeah, it's the artwork's been incredible. That's the screensaver I have on my phone right now, just because I love looking at it.
So rad.
Yeah. So so these guys are crushing it. They're doing a fantastic job for us. So many talented people working on this.
Yeah. Draws Walker's here. Good to see you, Draws. Thanks for being here. And then Eric says, nice card back. Space is the next frontier of war.
Yeah, it is. We love space. I love space.
I gotta say, you guys are here. Ben's loitering or lurking somewhere. You make it really friggin' hard because I'm an opener. And I got 2 packs. I don't know, the Skeletron'S, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
2 of the Skeletron'S. And I opened one. I didn't open the other. I'm going to have a really hard time when everything else starts showing up. Like what to open, what to not.
Honestly, Chad, I have a hard time opening them. It's like I love the art. It's so pretty. It's so weird. It's like you get it in your hand. It's like, and I'm like, I know I should be opening these, and it's like and I'm an opener, so I actually, like, all my classified figures that I've ordered, I open them all, right? And but when it rolls in, but it still feels so weird when I'm like popping that bubble off it, and it's like ripping away at the art. You're like, no, but yes.
Hey, George, I saw your question and I started because it's going to come up. So, and then Draws says that logo has to be on a shirt. Hey, Draws, if you look in the description, all the links in the description, they have a very extensive and awesome merch store. So by all means,
I got the Roboskull shirt on too. Yeah.
So yeah, man, by all means, please go check out all their awesome merch because they got tons. And then Patrick says, hopefully we'll all meet again in Roboskull 3, the search for more money.
Oh, we hope so too. Absolutely.
So I guess we're just going to do Spaceballs references all
night.
Why
would it?
We ain't found shit.
Well,
yeah. So we're going to do that all night. There was a comment from Mikey. I'm not going to scroll up and find it, but he said something like, I may be looking at that box right now. What's up? Did you guys give the Kukoviches a box?
When we were at Joe Fest, we built up a couple of the boxes, and then I think Brian had brought like 5 of them or something, and I only had space to bring one back because even Ben couldn't make Joe Fest, right, for other reasons, right? But so I brought a box back. I'm like, you gotta see this, right? And then we had leftover ones. I'm like, I can't fit them. Hey, Mikey or John, why don't you take the boxes? They're yours. So
that's awesome. That's
so they got
cool.
extra box. Yeah. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, pre-production boxes, I guess.
You guys had such a great spot because it was Mikey and John, right, with all the call sign longbow stuff. Then it was you guys, and then John and the Marauders guys, and it was just like this really awesome, big, like cool family of people just hanging out.
Yeah, we had, so it was like Raging Spoon, Longbow, us, Marauder, like all of our partners that we've been working with on this project, like just in one spot. So it's fantastic. And yeah, Joe Fest, for anyone who hasn't been there, it's a fun show. It's a great community. We really love that show.
Oh yeah. And then you had Sergeant Slaughter like right next to you.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter just, and the nice part is everyone was waiting in line to see Sergeant Slaughter. So they were forced to come by our booth.
Well, hey, what is this? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like, that's okay. You're a captive audience. You know, we'll take your money. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Largo's here. What's up, brother? So Jim from Largo's Lairs in the house. Big Bacon says I couldn't make Joe Fest either. The statute of limit. Yeah. All right. Anyway. So, okay. Card art. Freaking amazing. Now we're going to talk about these suckers. So these are the 4-inch modern articulation figures that you guys did in conjunction with Marauder Gun Runners.
Yep.
And then, so this is the 4-inch Jungle Trooper, which as soon as I saw the Jungle Wolf, because that was kind of later, I was like, damn, I got to get like 5 of those. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that was Marauder John's idea. And so, he really, he basically helped bring this character to life. And this guy was painted by Alex Wu. And Alex is, for those who don't know, Alex basically did the design work on the Roboskull. And so Alex is extremely talented. We found out he does paint masters. And so we had him, we requested of him that he do a Jungle Wolf as well as the Gyre Wolf. And so we showed those for the first time at Joe Fest. Yeah, and look at that shiny guy. And the Gyre Wolf is looking amazing. And then we get the paint. We got some 4-inch guys that have come in from the factory, and they gave us this nice, pretty, kind of chromed out looking guy. I threw a Skeletron head on him, but you look at that. Oh man, I'm terrible at this.
I'll make that's what she said. Yep.
Yeah. But you look at the chrome look that we want this guy to be like shiny, and he's amazing. And the nice part, he's got all that cool articulation too. You got that
thigh swivel
cut in there. You got the rocker ankles. Like these guys pose incredible, and so we're really, really loving the 4-inch figures that came into us. So,
but Mark, you can only get that detail in 6-inch figures. I hear people say.
Turns out you can do it in the 4-inch. So.
Weird.
And I gotta tell you, you want to get him into like that super cool like ninja pose, right, where that foot's all out there, and it's like. And we're very conscious. One of the things that we really studied in on was ankles. Ankle joints are so important because that's when you want to get that nice degree of bend. So when he's going forward, you got a nice balance, right? And so, so we're really happy with how these are turning out.
Yeah. And then, we had a huge jump. Eric says, for one moment, I thought it was a Cylon. Yeah.
No, it's not. Sorry if that disappoints.
And then George Aiken says 4-inch Star Wars does the ankle rocker. Yeah, I mean, the last couple waves of the G.I. Joe retro Walmart 4-inch, they had ankle rockers too. Like you're starting to see, for everyone who apparently doesn't know, 4-inch figures have the exact same points of articulation as 6-inch figures. There's no difference.
Yeah, we put that.
The only difference is in the torso. That's it. You don't have that nasty chest cut.
Yeah, because we added the thigh cut, the boot cut too. So I don't know if people know the boot cuts in there too. So
I actually have pictures of that.
Nice.
The chat is forcing me to get ahead. So
I'm stealing your thunder. Sorry.
No, you're not stealing my thunder. You're the man. I'm just clicking buttons. So, Viper Scout. Why am I getting commercials during a live stream? That beats the out of me, man. I don't know. And then Daredevil Dave said me too. I'm gonna blame Cory. So it's Cory's fault.
It's definitely my fault.
See,
I arranged that, so you're welcome.
Blame Cory. I don't know. I've never seen that before on my. Yeah, everybody. I don't know. Skip them. Sorry. That being said, so this guy, he's very awesome. He's very important. He's important for several reasons, because you guys based him on Gary Head, aka Gary Goggles, which he was a big part of the Joe community. He unfortunately passed away. And then I thought it was really cool that you guys honored him in the same way that Hasbro did with Sightline. When Mark Weber was still there, Mark and Daryl DePriest. So I wanted to say that I was really appreciative, and I thought it was very touching that you guys did this for Gary and for his family too.
We appreciate that. You know, Ben had a really good relationship with Gary, and so as we were going through this process, that was something that he, you know, very, very passionate about, really wanted to make that happen. And so, yeah, we reached out to his family, Ben did, and, you know, just talked to them, let them know what we were thinking, and everyone was on board. And so it's been a really cool figure to bring to life. And there's even background story. We have this friend Glenn, who's kind of helped contribute to bringing some of the background to the character to life as well. And you guys will see once his card art starts to come out, just kind of what Gyre Wolf really, what he's about and some of the things that he brings as a character. But yeah, being able to honor Gary's legacy was really, really a cool thing that we were able to do on the project.
I think that's freaking awesome. I'm actually looking at my I'm looking at Cory's cat now. I'm looking at my YouTube studio to try to see why people are saying that ads are running.
Well, while you look, I'll just say this whole silver motif we have going on with Gyre Wolf too, it's all in honor of Gary. He was a pretty flashy guy with some of his gear, and so we wanted to make sure that we honored that. And he's gonna be flashy.
Yeah, and then there's a blow up of it right there.
Yep. And then he comes with a hologram head. So
yeah, which is super cool.
I'll just say that silver you were getting was gorgeous. You know, it's silver is a hard one to nail down, and it looks really chromy and whatnot.
It does. We weren't sure what to expect, but when this thing came in and we opened it, we're like, oh man, that looks incredible. It's basically what we wanted without getting like the metal back, and so it looks really, really good.
Yeah, the design of the figure, the head sculpt of Gary, it's all fantastic. I really, really love this figure.
Well, yeah, and that was Fred Axon 2D Sculpts. Fred really nailed the sculpt. So
yeah, super cool. Viper Scout says, my biggest regret is not meeting up with Gary. I live in Chicagoland and never made it to a con he was at. Yeah.
Well, for what it's worth, I never had the pleasure of meeting Gary either. I kind of came into the community really right after he had passed away, and so I didn't have a chance either. So
yeah, but the tribute is still cool, and I think that not just the figure itself, but the fact that you guys included Gary, it just speaks a lot more to the efforts that you guys were putting into this entire project. So I think it's really cool, and I definitely wanted to talk about it for a minute.
No, for sure. Thank you.
Rad. Draws says that helmet looks badass, and the Force Ghost head sculpt too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I have that Paint Master here with me. It's Paint Masters and different stuff's either at Ben's house or my house. I'm never sure because we're constantly, hey, you should check this out. And we only live like a block away. So it's
nice.
Walk over and get it.
Cory, where's your cat?
Just walked away. Sorry.
He'll be back.
He will be.
Cool. All right. And then this is the 6-inch Wolf Trooper, and this was done by Frederick Faith.
Yeah, Frederick Faith. And we had Cory actually introduced us to Frederick. They had met, and Cory, I forget, Cory, I think Frederick had met you and your wife at a con, correct?
Yep. My wife Emily met Frederick through Star Wars Celebration, I think, or maybe a Comic-Con, but they met, through essentially him being a fan of, what Emily does. And so then after they were chatting, Emily was like, well, you gotta meet my husband, and being in the toy community and whatnot. And then it turned out that, Frederick, also worked on some of the Star Wars show, production stuff, props and, costumes and things, as well as does incredible custom figures. And so, we had chatted back and forth and whatnot. And then Mark and Ben were looking for someone to do the paint master for this. And so I was like, well, I don't know if he's done any professional toy work, but he's a phenomenal painter and loves action figures and whatnot. So I threw his hat in the ring and he crushed it. So it worked out well.
That's awesome.
He does incredible work. I mean, he just completed one of the pilot helmets too for us. You can see the gloss on that visor.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Here,
he does. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah. So
really good reflection on that visor.
Yeah, and here he actually did. Let's see what I got here. I got a head that he did for our
Bob
blood.
Breakin.
That's the Bob Breakin head.
Ooh.
Yes.
So that looks really good.
Wow.
And then
Nice.
this will be funny, but he's got my head too.
Yeah.
The red weasel. Yeah.
Yep. And the funny thing is, I'm going to show both of those at least in image form here shortly.
Nice. Yeah.
Very cool. You guys getting a lot of good feedback on including 6-inch figures?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's funny when we did the whole Roboskull project, and we've talked about this in the past, but everyone would ask, okay, is this 4-inch or is it 6-inch? What is it? And we're like, it's both. And we're like, what? Right. And so then you're explaining the seat swapping capability. And so the feedback, it's so funny. There's all these different communities. Some are very, particular. Like I only do 6-inch, or I only do 4-inch modern, or I only do O-ring, right? Some do it all, right? So, so to be able to meet, that demand for all the different collectors was really important for us. And yeah, it's 6-inch is so hot right now. And I collect that. I started collecting the Black Series before, Classified, and then the Classified line just for me took it all the 6-inch figures to the next level. And so, we started to get into, when we were working on this project, like we got to do 6-inch compatibility. And then before we know it, we're doing 6-inch figures too. And it's great. I love it because I'm so excited for the 6-inch figures and the additional textures and things that you can do with that figure. So it's fun.
I was going to get to a point in the conversation where I talked about interchangeable cockpits for 2 scales, but we'll definitely get a little more into the weeds on that. And then Mikey says Roboskull brings the entire community together. Couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, but before we really get into that part of the conversation, anytime somebody talks about that classified HISS tank, right? So I'm mainly a Joe guy and, parallel brands, kind of what you guys are doing and Action Force and the older Palatoy stuff and whatnot. And that's why this whole project speaks to me.
Yep.
But if they would have done the HISS tank the way you guys were smart enough to do your Roboskull, I'd have bought into the HISS tank. And every time the conversation comes up, that's the only thing I say. Like, I'm not going to buy that expensive of a toy to get my Dremel out and just start destroying the cockpit of it so I can put 2 4-inch seats in it. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we'll beat that up again.
All the same, I'm super excited for my HISS tank.
Yeah, and that's totally cool. Draw says that is one of the beautiful things about this project is the scalability for both worlds. Great way to think outside of the box, guys.
I think that a Roboskull itself, due to its kind of outrageous nature, it really lends itself to it, right? It becomes I would love to have a 6-inch Cobra Rattler, right? That thing it's going to be huge. Although it might be like the size of the Ghost, right, from Star Wars. But
yes, Steve's Toys makes them. You could hit him up; he'll make you one.
well, there you go. But the point is with the Roboskull, you know, we could get it into a little more compact design. Right? Although, you know, it's still beefier, you know, than maybe it started out as.
Oh yeah, and we're going to show that too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not like, you know, any of these you know, or you know, normal military vehicles. It's really hard to scale those up to 6-inch, right? So the Roboskull kind of lends itself to that.
Yeah, because it's like all wing. It's ridiculously huge. I freaking love it though. And then Lawrence from A Punk with Toys is in the house and says, "Hello, Chad. I'm just sitting here waiting for my Roboskull."
So are we.
So are we. They're coming. But yeah, I was glad to see that you guys did. You did balance the 4-inch and the 6-inch, and then you did the retro O-ring stuff. There was flavors for everybody. And again, that goes back to you guys put a lot of care and effort into it. And then since you were already talking about this, Mark, oh, hey, look, here's some of the 4-inch figure articulation updates. So you have the thigh swivel, and then you have the ankle rockers, and you have the boot mid calf.
Yeah, this guy's awesome. Like, this is
look at that
4-inch Wolf Trooper. You know, we have our super cool. Whoops, I keep coming off. Yeah. So yeah, the postability is going to be awesome, and then we have the nice stands.
Yeah, the stands are fantastic.
So yeah, these stands have turned out amazing. So
yep. Yeah, the stamp and the stands is fantastic, but I was really glad to see that you guys kind of kept moving forward with the 4-inch articulation updates. So they're really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, the articulation's been great. All the test shots we're getting from an articulation standpoint it's been fantastic.
Yep. Random Diorama, what's up, dude? Random Diorama says, "A punk without Roboskull." Nice. So I want to pause on this guy for a second. So Skeletron reimagined. So on the right of this image, we have the original Skeletron from 1984 from Palatoy's Action Force Red Shadows line, or Enemy Team. I like to call them Enemy Team.
Yep.
What was the impetus of you guys doing the actual Skeletron figure? Was it kind of a no-brainer because you were doing a Roboskull and originally the Skeletron was going to be the pilot?
Well, it was. And, you know, and again, it came back to kind of, you know, what started off as a joke of, well, Skeletron was supposed to be the original pilot for the Roboskull. Wouldn't it be cool if we made a Skeletron figure as the pilot for the Roboskull, right? He finally gets his due, right? And so, you know, when we kicked off the project, the Skeletron figure itself was really still, you know, the reveal was going to be in the O-ring character, right? So we always knew we were going to do that.
Right.
But the actual 4-inch and 6-inch were still things that were, I'll say, a little bit of a pipe dream. Is further down the line, right? Before we started blowing through Kickstarter or through stretch goals, and so it was always on the docket, but it was just projected to be perhaps later in the line, and that's why, you know, when we look at the schedule and we look at how things are delivering, Skeletron wasn't, you know, from a development standpoint, we were still very early in the concepts of Skeletron, and so. You know, it's one of the reasons that it was a little further behind in development and sculpting.
Awesome. George Aiken says most people use Skeletron as the rear gunner on the Roboskull. There you go.
Yeah. What we love about Skeletron now is AI is so hot right now, right? And so it kind of feels pretty good to have this pretty, you know, awesome AI robotic thing.
I have to say that Palatoy did such an awesome job with crazy characters like the Muton and Skeletron and
completely agree. Yeah.
But I really appreciated the fact that you guys took the Skeletron, and when you made the modern sculpt, he kind of has that skinless T800 vibe going on, and I really appreciated the the modernization of him, but still kind of paying homage to Bob Brecken and all those guys at the same time.
Yeah, and Bob has been an integral part of the project from the beginning, when we decided we wanted to do a modern take on what a Roboskull could look like, right?
Yeah.
And so, to have a guy like Bob Brecken working on the designs was, it's kind of huge for this project. And so,
Yeah.
even Bob has been fantastic. We displayed something that he had shipped over to us, which was his original Skeletron sculpt. And so we had that set up at Joe Fest, or did we have Joe Fest? And I know at Assembly Required we did, but just the fact that he would, we were very honored that he would send it over our way to, as a gift for what we're doing. And so yeah, we wanted to make sure on the Skeletron figure that, inspired by the past, right, but still a very modern take on it. And so, you see that even in his paint scheme. So,
and it's really cool to see companies like what you guys are doing, what Bobby Val is doing with Action Force, and how you guys you interact with Bob Brecken and you pay homage to him, and he respects and supports what you guys do at the same time. The creative handshake deal that takes place between him and your two companies is really awesome to see. That he's so open and supportive about it.
Yep, for sure. And Action Force is obviously very near and dear to Bob's heart. And so the fact that Valaverse and pays tribute to Bob, and we pay tribute to Bob, and because Bob is just a tremendous designer, tremendous talent. So love working with the guy.
Scuba Pete got a piece of the old Palatoy building when he went to England. That's pretty
nice.
Cool. I have a couple of questions starred that I'm going to get to right now, and then a few others that I'm going to get to later. So Will from Wilhelm Toy and Hobby just showed up, and he said, "Hey, Chad, guests in chat. The Roboskull Mark II is just freaking amazing. I missed the Kickstarter. Can I still order one?"
Well, I have good news for you. Yes, you can. If you go to Skeletron.com, you can still pre-order a Roboskull Mark II. The only thing that was a Kickstarter exclusive was the Roboskull Mark II Special Edition. So that is the only one with the Red Weasel pilot that it's not going to be available. There
you go, Will. There's your answer. And all the links are in the description, my friends. So happy shopping. Very cool. Thanks for answering that. And then this is sort of a sly roundabout way of asking what's next, right? So sure. Rachel Salinas, will Skeletron eventually have a nemesis? Cory looks down.
Well,
I love it. Freaking Cory.
Here's what I'll say. We have big plans for continuing what we're doing, what we've started. We're not ending. So I can tell you that. A lot of it's still TBD as far as where this goes, and obviously, given that we're so focused on delivering our Kickstarter project, that's where our attention is. But yes, we have conversations about what a nemesis could look like for the Red Shadows.
So. What's up, Cory? You gonna look down again? Not Top Goon, what's up? Awesome, very cool. So Skeletron, you guys killed it. The O-ring one, this one, even the 6-inch, right? Not a big fan, but I'm a fan of the art. So it's all art. I just don't like the scale of toy, but whatever, that's just me. I still like the art.
Yeah.
I don't even want to read this. You guys can read that for yourselves. Dielectric elastomer muscles. Does it?
Sounds good. Sounds like I should add that to the description.
Yes. Sure. Very cool. So here we have the Roboskull Mark II with Bloodwolf. Now, Bloodwolf is going to have the Bob Brecken head, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and then This is all the stuff. So there's the detention chamber that goes in the back on the underside, which we'll see another picture of that. There's the 2 separate cockpit configurations. So you have the 2-seater for the 4 inches, the 1-seater for the 6 inch. Or I heard that you guys could fit a Super 7 Ultimate in there.
We have. So yes,
Yeah.
you can. So
I had heard that. Oh.
Yep. We tried it.
And then there's the blast effects, the lightning effects, the eyes, the guns, you name it. This thing is just out of control awesome.
Yeah, we're so excited. But again, then all that stuff, you know, that's all the details that we're working out right now. But yeah, it's a whole lot of awesomeness.
Yeah. And then
there it is, right there. It's awesomeness. Yes.
Yeah. Patrick says, I just got back from tucking in my kids and I find this awesomeness awaiting me.
Yes.
And then everyone's like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. Will says, does anyone in the chat want to buy one of my kidneys? I need this. It's not kidney expensive. Curb Stomps here and says, what's up, dudes and dudettes? This is what's up. Hanging out with Mark and Cory, talking toys. This thing, man. Anyway, so for anyone who hasn't seen all that you get with the Roboskull Mark II, there it is right there. And then that's that hotness. That's that new hotness right there. Mm-hmm. And then that's the render of Bob's head, but you already showed it. So
yeah, and again, that's 2D sculpts. Fred Axon crushed it. Did such an amazing job. Fred really does such nice work.
This is another one of those things where you're just adding layers upon layers, where after you guys had already talked about the Gary head figure and you had already talked about this, and here comes a freaking 4-inch modern Skeletron, and here comes this Jungle Wolf Trooper, and I'm like, oh man, my wallet's screaming. And then I saw this Bob Breakin and I was like, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you just keep adding, so many layers of, we're honoring this, we're honoring that. So it's pretty freaking amazing. And then this is the Mark II Special Edition. JLS says, it's hard to top the Mark I, but I think you did it, guys. I personally, and I want to touch on this for just a second. I never thought that you guys were trying to compete with the Mark I or anything like that. I know a lot of people who say, well, I have a Roboskull, so why would I want it? But I never saw it as that. Did you guys approach it from the, we're gonna best the Palatoys Roboskull Mark I?
Nope, not at all. As a matter of fact, it was really important for us that, like I talked about, that that Bob, recognized that what we were trying to do wasn't we're not like saying, we basically look at his work as a piece of art, right? And so ours is just a different piece of art. It's a different take on the Roboskull, but we still, the original, we view that as its own piece of art for sure. So yeah, I definitely not and the funny thing is, it was when we were kind of approaching this, I'm a huge Voltron fan, and when Ben was bringing up, and this was Ben's passion project, like he really wanted to make this is something he's just like, I got to get a Roboskull made, right? And so when we were talking, like, okay, how do we communicate what we're kind of looking for with Alex Wu? And it's the original Voltron is a fantastic, it's a fantastic piece, right? The old die-cast metal Voltron. Now I started watching Voltron Legendary Defender, and I fell in love with the new Voltron, and I really loved how they took that original Voltron and it's still Voltron, but they made it modern, right? And
updated.
Exactly, updated. And that's really kind of the vibe that we're going for. And it was neat talking to Bob, because he talked about with the wings how it was very inspired by cathedrals, right? And Gothic cathedrals. And so when we were designing our wings, you're starting to think about, what inspired him, from this Gothic cathedral look. And so, but at the same time, we were still giving Alex the freedom to explore his own creative thoughts. And so the whole creative process and how each person, would add a piece or, to the design was such a fun process to go through, because it definitely evolved. It wasn't like, here it is, let's do it, right? it was, feedback. Let's tweak this. What about this? I know Chris McLeod loved that we got the mohawk on it, and so again, just a lot of fun people come together on it.
Yeah, very cool. Big Bacon is asking, what are the retail prices for the various figures in actual Roboskull? So, Patrick, if you look at the links in the description, if you go to roboskull.com, you can see all the prices. You can order stuff still, so you'll see whatever.
It's actually Skeletron.com.
Skeletron. I'm sorry, I said Roboskull, didn't I?
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Go to roboskull.com. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. Hey Cory, do you like stuff?
I like some stuff.
You like some stuff? You like stuff? Samuel Edwards
Yeah.
likes stuff. We all like stuff around here.
That's great. Well,
Yeah, stuff's cool. Stuff's fun.
luckily Skeletron has got some cool stuff worth liking.
Skeletron does have cool stuff, and you're making cool stuff too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the special edition. What was the impetus behind this? Just do like a different deco, make it a unique kind of one-off?
Well, so with the original Roboskull, from an inspiration standpoint, some people don't know that there was a version that was done that was a Cobra version, right? And the Cobra version had a different sticker pack that came with it. So, and then it also came with a Wild Weasel figure that they called Red Wolf, right? So it wasn't Wild Weasel in that edition. So we thought it would be really fun to do an alternate version with some yellow striping and put in a pilot, aka Red Weasel. So yeah, we had some fun, and the neat part is when we were doing decos, we got deco sheets from Alex and Alex Wu, that is, and we're just kind of playing with the model, throwing paint on it. Before we knew it, we had this really cool war paint going on, and it was fun to deco out this one.
Yeah, it's like listening to the Motu guys from Mattel when they were coming up with Castle Grayskull, and they're like, nah, just take the spray paint and go like this across the face and shoot it up, and it'll be fine. And just do them however you want to do them. I thought that was pretty neat. World Made of Cardboard is asking, will the Roboskull have cool packaging like the figures? I know you were at Joe Fest. Did you not see the box over at their booth? Because they had the boxes stacked up right next to where Cory was loitering. So
the box is going to be amazing.
The box is fantastic.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Ben, if you're still listening, he's probably still working on the box. So, because that's where I left him. We were talking about the box.
I hope my comment didn't come across as a knock against the original. I simply meant that it set a high bar on design that was definitely met here with this updated design. In other words, it's awesome. Yeah, I don't think anybody took it like that. You're the man.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I think he hits on something important there, and that's that there's a lot of pressure when you're talking to the original designer of something who created this incredible work of art, and then now you're like, how do we talk about this new design without it looking like we're insulting the original when when the original is so awesome? And so it's a weird thing.
It's a daunting thing to live up to, because it's like the Roboskull is one of those things. It's that nightmare TIE fighter, and only so many people know about it. And when you learn about it, you're like, how have I never had this in my life? Because it's it's British and I suck and I never knew about it. And then when you guys start coming up with this, you're just like at the bottom of it looking up like, I have to live up to this. Oh, look at, there you go. He hears you. You're the only one he's listening to. Making tweaks to the final Mark II box design. Very cool. Oh,
awesome.
Wait. Sorry, hold on. Ben's back. I got to put my hat back on. I don't care. We're just having fun, right? Toys should be fun. But yeah, HGC says that box art looks tight. I saw it at Joe Fest. Yes, it's amazing.
We love it.
Oh, and then he says, oops, I guess I thought it was just a display. No, that's the actual box, brother. So, yeah. That's what we're here for, man. Value added. Right? Right, Cory? Value added.
Yep. Value added.
All right, so I do have to say that I found the way that you guys, again, the whole theme of this is paying homage too. So you pay homage with Blood Wolf, but you don't call him Red Wolf, you call him Blood Wolf. But Wild Weasel never had red in his name, so you call him Red Weasel. And I like the fact that you guys bounce the names around like that. It's very smart. I like the smart.
Thank you. Yeah,
and then here's the pilot. Is that your head?
That is my head. There's a background story to this.
So let's hear the story, and I want to know what's up with the coffee mug, because that made me laugh so hard when I saw the coffee mug.
Oh, guy? Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay, hold on. Wait, let's see it.
It's adorable.
Cory, is your exclusive figure going to have a coffee mug?
Yeah, obviously.
Duh.
I'll probably ignite another debate, but we'll see. So so when we were developing this figure, when I grew up, I still have my original Cobra Rattler. I was a huge Wild Weasel fan. That's like my guy. And so obviously we didn't grow up with Roboskulls here in the US, right? And so when we were kicking this off and Ben was telling me that there was another edition of it that was packaged with a Wild Weasel, that got me extremely excited. And so Ben was like, well, he's like, we are going to need a head sculpt, for these guys. He's like, do you want it to have your head? And I was like,
keep talking.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. And it's like next day, I did a head sculpt for me. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, So it was super exciting, just to have the opportunity to get, I guess, placed in plastic. But and then as far as the mug goes, and this might be the controversy, I'm a huge connoisseur of tea. I love tea. And so for me,
that's what I'm drinking.
Yeah, right on. So I drink Earl Grey tea every day. And so, some people are like, oh, he's drinking coffee like a boss. And I'm like, well.
Yeah, I'm more like Jean-Luc Picard, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, and so we did work. You guys will see when the bio comes out. We worked kind of a fun bit on the whole tea thing into the bio too. So, but yeah, when we were thinking about, just the character itself, Patty Lennon had showed us a picture of this. I forget the character's name. I think it's Chaz, if I'm not mistaken. And he comes with he came with a coffee cup, and I'm like, that looks so cool. I want a mug. My guy needs a mug. So yeah, there you go.
I printed a little 4-inch scale coffee mug from my Keel Hall. So he's up on the top deck of the flag with his coffee mug, just watching all the ridiculousness going on, and he's like, pathetic.
So great.
And then so there you go, right there, random diorama. I just finished my tea, Earl Grey hot.
Nice.
Yep. Big Bacon. Does the Roboskull have cup holders?
That is a really, really good question. So
is it though? Is it? No. World made of cardboard. So, Mark, if you're the pilot of the Roboskull, how hard is it to fly?
Well, given all the G-forces that you're subjected to and the rigorous training it takes to become a Roboskull pilot, it is extremely difficult to fly. So only the best and brightest are chosen, from what I hear. So,
yeah, I bet. Keith O'Donnell, and this is a good question. Will the special edition Mark II come in different packaging?
The box will be the same, but the artwork will be different.
There you go. So yes, different artwork on the box.
Yep.
That's a good question. I have to say, when I saw that you guys were doing a Blood Wolf and a Red Weasel, I was like, that's totally awesome, because my Roboskull has Red Wolf inside of it, but I knew that it came with a Wild Weasel later. And since most of my figures are all 4-inch modern stuff, I kit bashed a pilot to stand outside of the vehicle until obviously I get all my figures from you guys, and I use the base of a Wild Weasel and just a TIE Fighter pilot helmet and some red shadowed stickers, and I'm like, done and done. But
that looks good, Chad.
Big fan of the Red Weasel idea.
Red Weasel.
Yeah, super cool. Do you want hot coffee or tea in the Roboskull when flying it? A truly tough question. Well, I know Mark's answer. Cory, what's yours?
I would probably go tea as well, to be honest.
I'm gonna go coffee, depending on the time of day. How about that? Coffee in the morning, tea after 1 o'clock.
There you go.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Ben. Char. I said Chaz. Char. Yeah.
From Gundam is the inspiration for the mug. Thanks, Ben. I took my hat off. I'm sorry. I'm still shilling hard. Don't worry about it. Beta Ray. Wouldn't a vehicle as technologically advanced as the Roboskull MkII have inertial dampers to Oh, geez. Here we go. Yeah, we're sure. Eric, thank you for that. And then Scuba Pete says, "The Weasel."
Yeah.
It's the Weasel. But anyway, I thought this was really cool that it's your head with the mug, and it's just.
That's the reason for it. Yep.
Yeah. And then Eric says, Char is the best character in Gundam, hands down.
Nice.
Nice. So now we're going to get into this.
Ooh.
This is, right, sort of the, I don't really know if you would call this exploded. What is this view, Mark?
I believe you would call that a patent drawing.
Okay, I love it. Okay. It's a sketch. That's what I would say. Look at this cool red sketch. So this is what the side view of the Roboskull looks like, and the two separate cockpits, how the 4-inch figures or 3 3/4, actually 1/18 scale, whatever, how they fit into said vehicle. And now I'm gonna shell it up again. So you had already talked about the importance of this and why you guys decided to do it.
Yep.
Oh, I guess Ben's trying to get Beta Ray Bob on the engineering team.
Yeah, I think we need that.
Hey, I'm wearing the hat, man. What's up? What about me? I bring nothing to the table. Nothing at all. So when did you guys first decide this is going to be the way you were going to go?
It was pretty early. But again, it was right around the time. Boy, I just remember taking the very first classified figure. I think it was Snake Eyes and the 00, right? And the funny thing is, we didn't have anything 3D printed. We didn't have anything. I went to like a Michael store and bought something that had a foam skull in it, right? That looked about the size I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I brought it home. I bought like foam carving knives, which I don't recommend because burning foam reeks. So don't ever do it.
Terrible.
Okay. But I wanted to see, could we do this, right? Because it was really early on when Ben and I were talking about this, and we started like looking at some sketches, and rather than have the tail down in the Roboskull, do we have the tail up? How can we position and then adding a mohawk, and so it was really early when we started looking at the multiple scales.
Awesome. Will says, I see on the website that you can also get a 7-inch vinyl record, features 2 brand new, totally badass Cosmic Orphan and Warburg. Yes. Yeah. The album is available. It's
available and ready to ship. And it packaging on that was done by Brian Sauer as well, who really crushed the art, the packaging work on that. So, and Brian did some artwork as well for it that turned out beautiful. But yeah, Word Burglar partnering up doing that, and then Cosmic Orphan. That's actually Ben's brother is in Cosmic Orphan, and so it was his band, and getting those guys to do a song was really cool.
Yep. Yeah, that was really cool that you guys came up with a record. I thought that was sweet.
It's like, why not?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the book was kind of a no-brainer, but I was like, all right, a record? I see you.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing. So this is what the Mark II looks like with 2 3 3/4 inch actually O-ring Joes in the cockpit, and for some reason Storm Shadow's swinging his nunchucks.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah, why not? Here's a question: will the album be available on streaming services?
Oh man, Ben, you'll have to chime in. I don't have the answer to that.
But official Skeletron, if you could answer Rachel's question, I have my hat on. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Cosmic Orphan's already on Spotify, but maybe I'm wrong. They have their other songs out there. So
Yeah, that's a good question. Some people, find the ease of use of streaming services, iTunes and all that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's 2 O-ring figures in the cockpit. There's a close-up of the 2, and again, he's just swinging wildly in the back seat there. But these pictures are great, all of these upcoming photos, because you can see just the fantastic detail in this cockpit.
Yeah, the cockpit. Yeah, and so that was really fun to design. The cockpit itself, and even then we're starting to talk about how are we going to do the dashboards and all that. And guess what? You can do whatever you want. That's kind of the fun of it. And so we had a lot of fun in working on that design.
Here's a good question. Keith O'Donnell. Will the drawings, i.e. the blueprints, be included in the box like Joe vehicles had?
We do have plans for blueprints to go in the box.
Oh, there you go. Look at Cory. He's like, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's all thanks to Kirk Bazigian. That was his baby. Blueprints.
Love it.
And then a Punk with Toys is shilling for me and says Chad is wondering why he wasn't asked to do an original punk song for the album. I don't know. I'm going to file a grievance, I guess. Skeletron says, Word Burglars, I get to drive. It will likely be on Spotify in the near future. So there's your answer, Rachel. Sorry. Yeah. And then Eric says, Blueprint's really cool. And then Skeletron, Ben, we'll just say Ben, says there is also a mini poster of those line drawings in the 7-inch album. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. World Made of Cardboard's got a bail. Thanks for being here. Love the design and the work. Simply a great reimagining of an iconic toy line.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. He makes all sorts of, like World Made of Cardboard, because he makes awesome vehicles and stuff and play sets out of cardboard.
That's super cool.
Yeah, he does awesome work. So I loved this, right? So the little detention chamber that kind of, you can see where it slides into the back. I really like the fact that you guys included that in there.
Yeah, and so the fun part about this is where the Skeletron'S will be, stored, right?
Yep.
And then they're sent out for either retrieval or termination missions, right? And then we call this our prison transport, and that's exactly what it is. So
yep.
This was a fun thing to do. The original Roboskull had a section that would pop lower down, and you could put a character in it in the back, and so there you go. Yep. So the brainwashing chamber, I believe it was.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. George, if you're still here, I don't know, you can verify that or correct us. And it also shows a really good view of the rear of the fuselage of the vehicle, so it shows the engines and a lot of the other awesome detail that's going into this vehicle.
Yeah, and even so, with our prototype, we've made a lot of updates to the engines. Again, we weren't satisfied with where the engines were, and so we took another swing at them and we upgraded them.
Yep.
Nice.
Mark gets 2 points in George's book. There you go. Yeah. And then Eric says, I feel some Slave One vibes. Actually, it's a Boba Fett starship now. Thank you. You can't call it Slave One.
I happen to have that starship sitting right in front of me. So
it'll always be Slave One to me, but whatever. I don't.
The fire spray, I believe.
Yeah, it is a fire spray. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's made by Sorosub fire spray. Anyway, whatever. It's still Slave One. And then you have, wink. You got a couple of Marauders figures right there, which I dig very much.
Oh yeah. Yep. Our partner Marauders.
Yeah. HEC says the fur spray. And here, speaking of Action Force, right? Because I wanted to tie everything in. We talked about how what Bobby's doing, what you guys are doing, it pays homage to and shows love for everything that Bob and Palatoy and all those guys had done. And then there's an Action Force figure. And I took this right off your guys' website or Facebook page, one or the other. But yeah, Desert Rat. Dude,
Yeah,
Cory, your cat jumped up and I swore it was mine. I looked down.
Yeah, this
like
was
living in the Matrix. I'm like, sorry.
But this was pretty cool, Chad. Bobby had sent over a couple figures for us when we were doing some photo shoots, and the Desert Rat hadn't even been released yet, and so this was basically a paint master that we got to shoot in there. And you got Tony, who's he's a big Roboskull fan. Does analog.
Oh yeah.
And so it's pretty cool, to kind of bridge that, make that connection. So it was fun.
Yeah, and then Eric agrees. Tony from Analog Toys, nice. It's because of him I know about the Roboskull. I was on his channel with him Thursday, and we talked all things 1/18 scale, and then we discussed the Roboskull and your guys' Roboskull. So we talked about that for a good few minutes. And yes, Cory, it is Soros up.
Good to know.
Yeah, what's up? I may not collect it, but I have freaking no Star Wars. That's okay. Yeah, and then George says that figure gets everywhere. Cory, HGC is trying to get your cat to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Cats do what cats want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wanted to include that, and then because Star Wars, and it's a Nightmare TIE Fighter, why not? Right.
Well, we figured once the Razor Crest got blown up, Mando needed a real ship. So
yeah, why the hell does he have an N1 Starfighter? Where are you going to put like bounties in that thing? You're going to drag them behind you in space or something like that?
No.
It makes no sense.
It even has the prison transport. It's like, what more does a bounty need, right?
It's perfect.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Just saying, Dave Filoni, if you're watching.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Dave? You want a Nightmare TIE Fighter? Just
throw it in there.
Just give me some money. That's all there's to it. But yeah, that being said, the N1 is a stupid memberberry idea for a bounty hunter. Dumb.
We can,
yeah,
100% dumb. Did you guys getting down in Ahsoka or what?
I just full disclosure, Ahsoka is probably my favorite, next to Obi-Wan, my favorite Jedi. So but I love Clone Wars. I love Rebels.
See, I'm a Qui-Gon Jinn guy.
Yeah, well, there you go. Okay, so there you go. And so I am huge into everything that relates to Ahsoka, but I've only had the chance to watch the first episode, and so I got to get deeper into it. So, but it's good. I like the first one.
I gotta say, episode 5 got me.
Okay,
yeah.
Cory, you're up to speed on it?
Oh yeah, yep.
Did you watch episode 6 already?
Yes, I did.
Episode 5, I was like, oh man, I don't know, Mark, if these are spoilers, but
they are. I'm gonna have to hide comments. I don't know.
Okay, well, there's some stuff in episode 5, Mark. When you watch it, if you're a Clone Wars guy,
I am.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, you're just gonna.
It is a love letter.
You're gonna be rewinding. Just episode 5, I rewound the shit out.
Well, that's how season 2 of Mando was for me. When they first bring in Bo-Katan, and then they bring in Ahsoka, and then I'm like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then Luke comes in and just straight up bodies everybody.
That's pretty epic. I mean, that.
Oh man, yeah. Anyway, yes. I have to say, Rey has the best performance in the series. What Rey? Are you talking Ray Park as Darth Maul? Or are you talking Rey Skywalker? Because I think that's a different spelling, is it not? R-E-Y?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I appreciate that one.
Okay. And then Eric says, Mando and the Roboskull, probably someone has got to make a silver chrome custom. Well, Ben has one. The Chromo Skull.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were already talking about that. And then there's the Baroness. The actual Baroness. Not like that Snake Eyes movie one that I call the Kareness. But yeah.
No, and that's...
Come on, Cory. You know, right?
Yeah,
You know, you look at that Baroness. That's always been my argument about that. And I don't have anything against Ursula Corbero or whatever her name is. Like, she's a fine actress, but just the visual language given off, I was like, she looks like she's gonna go complain about the price of something. Like, she doesn't look like an international terrorist. So I always call her the Kareness. I don't know if you worked on that figure, brother, but I'm not knocking the figure, just the whole Snake Eyes thing. George meant Ray Stevenson. Yeah, he's good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
So
and yeah, when he tells Thrawn who he is, oh, sorry, Mark. I'm just gonna drink my tea.
You're killing me.
Spoiler alert: Thrawn knows who he is, but Thrawn knows everything, right? It's not much of a spoiler. But. Moving on. Sorry. Let's talk about size comparisons because size is important. Hold on, wait. I got to get to it.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Anyway, so size comparisons. So that's what the Roboskull Mark II, because it's significantly larger than the original Roboskull, but that's what it looks like with a 6-inch figure standing in front of it. And again, this is all just open source stuff that I grabbed from you guys.
Yeah.
This to me was very telling because if you don't own a flag, but you own a classified Baroness, then you can kind of tell the scale. Uh-oh, look, Ben. Mark will never come back on your show if you spoil anything Star Wars. I'm sorry. I'm still wearing my hat, gentlemen. I'm still shilling.
Boy,
remember,
does Ben know me.
Mark, you have to come back. I'm not going to spoil it.
All right, sweet.
I promise. I didn't give anything away about episode 5, did I, Cory? Back me up.
I hope.
No, not yet.
No, I didn't. I won't. I won't. I promise.
That look on his face.
I know. So if you don't own a flag, but you own a tomahawk, you can see how large the Mark II Roboskull is in comparison. And I thought it was very telling in front of the conning tower of the flag just to see exactly how large that is. And then see, perfect. So Matt Noon says, wow, that's impressive next to the tomahawk.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Right. So Patrick said, well, the trailer should have spoiled that. Yeah, see, I'm in the clear. I'm good, Ben. Well, cool. I'm good. So, as long as Mark's not mad at me. Mark,
No.
I'll buy you some tea. So. And then this shot I thought was perfect in so many different ways because A, you've got Bob in it.
Yep.
B, you show the Roboskull, the original, next to Bob, and then you show your guy's Roboskull next to the original. So
Yep.
I knew it was going to be an updated, upgraded version of the Roboskull, and owning, right, because I already picked it up, but owning a Roboskull, and yes, I know I'm missing one of the guns. It is what it is. But owning a Roboskull and having had it in my physical space, I know the size of this toy. And when I saw your actual Roboskull in person up close, I remember, so you guys had the vehicle last year, and this year you had packaging and more paint masters and things like that, but you had the actual Roboskull last year.
Yep.
And I remember my wife and I came home from Joe Fest, and I started looking around. I don't have anywhere to put that. I don't. In this massive room, I'm like, I don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on that.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Lawrence says I don't have room on my flag for this thing though. I don't either. So
Something's got to go.
George Aiken says the wings themselves are so big they could break off and be fighters. That'd be cool. I like that.
That would be cool.
I'm gonna hang the Mark II from the ceiling and attack. Attack the flag. Okay. Cool.
Funny story. Our friends in Ireland, Brian Hickey and Patty, when they're doing photo shoots for us with the flag, hung a Roboskull from the ceiling, and it eventually fell at one point. So it didn't take too much damage, but yeah. So
I mean, if it hits the deck, the deck's pretty thick, you know.
Yeah.
Plus, it has all that cross sectioning on the underside. That the deck,
Oh,
I don't know. I had one of those the vinyl statues that you could get from GameStop, and I had my Storm Shadow statue. For some reason, I don't know why, maybe it's ghosts. It flipped off a shelf and it landed right on top of my 82 headquarters and just landed perfectly on the jail cell wall and hit it with such force. Not only did it break it, but it bent the bars at the same time.
wow.
So I hate when toys take a dive like that, but
Especially prototypes.
yeah. HGC, real talk. Will the Roboskull sit atop a Terrordrome? Have you guys tried to set the Mark II on top of a Terrordrome?
It's a good question. I have not. Of course, I don't have a Terrordrome, so yeah.
The original Roboskull will sit inside the Terrordrome with the launch bay right there. I know that for a fact.
Well, I'm not sure. It depends. Here's the thing, though. We have different wing configurations, so and it's available. It clicks in. It might.
That's true, yeah, because the wings they do fold.
Yep.
Yeah. Good question. But that's okay. I won't cry if it doesn't. So there you go.
Okay.
If the wings can detach, why not make legs to make a tank?
Oh boy. Don't think those conversations didn't happen.
Really? Did they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
About making a robo tank?
What's that?
About a robo tank?
Well, early on, we were doing all sorts of sketching and the possibilities of, what could be done with this, and had to draw the line somewhere. So, yeah.
I bet. I'm sure that's probably a rabbit hole of creativity at some point.
It really is. And you get all these concept drawings that, just take you down all sorts of different avenues. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then Voltron-inspired skull tank homage. Oh, here we go. We have not yet coupled the Mark II with the Terrordrome. Sounds like a great weekend get-together. I'm there. What's up? I'll wear my hat. I'll shill it up.
Do it.
I have a Terrordrome. I don't have a Mark II yet. I paid for one, but I have a Terrordrome.
I have a Terrordrome, but I know where Mark II is.
I am a Chad, so I try to be very measured on what sort of Chad type statements I ever make. Cory, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I do say some stuff, and my teenager will be like, that's a Chad thing to say. Like, no, it's not. She's like, yeah, that's pretty Chad. That's a Chad statement. I'm like, so I don't want to be that guy's like, actually, I have 2 Terrordromes. No big deal. Total Chad.
Total Chad.
So now we've kind of reached the point. So we talked about interchangeable cockpits for the 2 scales. We talked about size comparisons, Skeletron, the Mark II, the Mark II Special Edition, all the awesome figures, card art, box art, all the artists. Gave everybody shout outs for that. I really appreciate Ben being here in the chat with you guys. I think that's super cool.
Yep.
Yeah, see right there. That's a Chad flex, 2 Terrordromes. I mean, they're stacked. They swivel. It's no big deal. Yeah.
No big deal.
Chad doing Chad things. I'm going to go back to some starred questions because I put this picture up for a specific reason. So you guys got Roboskull. You got Skeletron. You got Red Shadows, right?
Yep.
Keith O'Donnell. And this question's from a hot minute ago. Question for Mark. Any new stuff for next year after the Kickstarter stuff is released?
I will say this. We definitely have more plans for Red Shadows. Okay. So you guys can expect that this line is not going anywhere. It's going to continue to grow. So it's just, again, we have things cooking. We definitely have things cooking. So.
And then this is Rachel's question from earlier. Rachel, I hope you're still here. If not, I apologize. and maybe you can catch this answer or at least the discussion of your question in a replay. So you guys have the trademark for Skeletron and Roboskull. Does Hasbro still trademark, or do they still have the trademark on Red Shadows? No, right? Because we just answered that. Baron Ironblood and or Black Major.
Yeah, just point of clarification, I guess we actually have registered trademarks for Skeletron, Roboskull, and Red Shadows. So Baron Ironblood and Black Major, not two names that we had sought out to trademark, so or registered. So no, we do not on those two.
If George Aiken's still in the comments, which I believe he is, I know you can only see like part of my face, but I want to leave the question up. I don't ever remember Hasbro. Cory, I don't know if you can chime in on this, but I don't know if Hasbro ever had Baron Ironblood or Black Major. They never made, that was never Hasbro. That was Palatoy. Even in all the modern figures, 25th all the way through Pursuit of Cobra 50th, they never made a Baron Ironblood, ever.
I don't know specifically on that, but I do know that Baron Ironblood was someone that we had thrown around a bit on classified series, but was kind of told that it wasn't an option for us at that point anyway. Who knows what the future holds and whatnot, but that's essentially the most that I know.
Yeah. George, I know you're still here and maybe you can answer that question, but from what I was tracking, Hasbro did not own Baron Ironblood. I don't know if that changed, but some stuff they did get, other stuff they didn't. Like I know they made Quarrel, I know they made Jammer, I know they made Gaucho, they made Captain Skip. So they did have some Action Force names. At
the one figure they seem to that they have made in some capacity has been Red Laser. That's the
Red Laser, yes. Yeah. I do have the figure subscription service Red Laser of theirs.
Yeah.
And they also licensed Red Laser, and I know Red Laser for sure to Super 7 for Reaction.
Well, yeah, Super 7 because they have the G.I. Joe license. Yeah. And I believe those fell under that. So
yeah, and then even George says not likely. Only one they did was Red Laser.
Yeah, that was my recollection.
Yeah, well, I have like I said, I have the Quarrel, the Jammer, the Gaucho, the Captain Skip, and all of those. Everything that they did in like the JoeCon stuff, the figure subscription service, I have all those, all the Action Force. So, oh, there you go. Mikey says Black Major and Red Shadows was a con exclusive in 2010. Doesn't mean much now, though. All right. Those things expire. Just ask the Baroness and Chameleon. Right? Yeah, they expire. But it's a good question. And then, kind of in the same vein, George Aiken, after the Roboskull, are there any more plans for another vehicle?
Well,
See my previous statement.
Yeah. So, as far as vehicles go, we've definitely had, there's been conversations, but there's been nothing, there's cool vehicles in that line, but has anything manifested beyond conversations on that? No. So nothing's ruled out, right? And as this grows, it kind of, for us, a lot of it happens organically, and we have a very specific focus for what we want to do for the next wave. I just can't get too deep into what that's going to be, but there is more on the horizon.
Ben, are you still here? Because Mark and Cory already heard my pitch for this. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Not saying. Just,
a pretty cool vehicle you have there.
I'm just saying, I know you guys have seen this thing before, and Cory likes to look down and around and all that stuff. Just hear me out. Make a rad, updated Shadow Track hold 1 6-inch or 2 4-inch. See, even Cory's cat likes it.
Yep.
And then Cory can sculpt a mouton. See, look at that. He sees it. Yeah, and then look at, you want to see a Chad comment? Yeah, it's okay. I got 20 of those. So, some people have wardrobes that lead to Narnia. George Aiken has a wardrobe that leads to like this magical land of Palatoy toys, and he just has everything. He's like, oh, you want to see a Palatoy Death Star? And he just pulls it out. He's like, oh, you want to see 50 ATCs? Here you go. Yeah. Here you go. Here's a question from Rick. Any chances of developing some new characters? Oh, new characters. I like that question. Similar to Action Force moving forward.
Yeah, as far as developing new characters, yes. There's definitely a good chance of that.
That's cool. Because then sky's the limit, right?
Yep, exactly.
But again, I'm just saying, Christmas is coming. I'm everybody's buddy, and I like stuff. You guys make a shadow track. Cory can sculpt a mouton. Business. We're in business.
Yeah.
Right there. And then Eric says, that cat is so calm. My cat is a storm on 4 legs. How old's your cat, Cory?
He is 12 this year. So he's getting up there. Yeah.
Yeah, my big fatso is 14. He's like that too. He's just real chill.
Yeah.
Cool. So got some good stuff on the horizon. I know you guys can't talk about it, but I know you have fantastic stuff in the pipe. Based on what we saw from this, original, like first out of the gate, hey, like we're Skeletron, we're doing this, like this is our vision, this is our idea. The way that you guys reimagine and redesign everything, like down to the logos. I know that whatever you guys do next is going to be freaking fantastic. So especially with Cory on board, like Cory, you and I we've talked offline one-on-one numerous times. I don't collect shit for classified, man, but I know you're a fantastic artist.
Thank you.
And that being said, Mark, Cory, Ben, if you're still listening, I know that you guys can't discuss it, but whatever you're going to do, I can't wait to see it. And I know it's going to be as successful as this one was.
Well, yeah, we know what we have a plan for the future. We definitely have a certain style with how we drop things, so we're just as excited. We're most excited to get Roboskulls into people's hands, and then really excited for what we see out into the future too.
Just social media and toy photography is going to be nothing but Roboskulls.
It's going to be fun
forever.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun seeing the customs people do too. So,
I got the Mark II and I got the Mark II Special Edition. I was actually one of those people where I made my pledge. I did my backer kit stuff, and then a couple weeks later, I was like, okay, and I just went back and I added.
Nice.
And then Lawrence says, don't believe Chad. He likes the classified Python Patrol bat. I do. I like Battle Android Troopers. They're cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was the Python Patrol Trouble Bubble that you liked.
Where I made the comparison to Mission Brazil, and I was like, it's too fast. It's too fast. We all have how many toys in our collection that are repaints or the same mold with different accessories. We all have those, and that's fine. That's all well and good. I just it's different than that. It's not so surface value my issue with it. It's deeper. I'm deeper than that. I have 2 Terradromes, okay?
I sense that. I sense there's a deeper meaning. Yeah.
It's totally deeper. It's just, whatever. This is probably going to be one of the last questions because this guy won't let the ninja thing go. I'm going to ask this to Cory. Can you make ninjas? Because Chad loves ninjas. What do you say, Cory? Are you a ninja guy?
I can make ninjas. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll make whatever you want.
Yeah.
Can you make me a ninja mouton?
Ninja mouton. That'd be something.
I don't know what a mouton is, so give me
But But you got skills, right? You can you can do
yeah.
it. Yeah. And then Space Ninjas.
Oh, yeah. I can do that.
To go with the
Space
Roboskull.
Yeah, with Muton's scuba gear.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
anyway-
I think a ninja, cyborg Roboskull would be fucking sweet.
There you go. And that's our first F-bomb of the show. So thank you, Cory. Fucking A.
Sorry.
I don't
my
care
bad.
if you swear, dude. You can swear all you want. That being said, so next up in the shoot for you guys is AR, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So we will have a booth at AR in Des Moines, Iowa. Assembly required. It's a fantastic show. Like I said before, Brian, Travis, and company, they do such a nice job putting on the show, and it's really a cool show for kids too. They really do a nice job in putting together different activities and things for kids. We always do a coloring contest at the show, and then nice giveaways for kids. It's fun. We really enjoy it.
Yeah. And my goal is to be there at AR. I had planned on being at PowerCon, but because I'm retiring and I'm in like a weird state of flux until I hit terminal leave, which is burning the last of my leave before I'm actually out, I can't really take any leave. So as long as I'm on terminal leave by the 1st of November, I will be there. So
cool. That's awesome.
That is the plan. But that's what screwed me on PowerCon is they were like, I mean, you only have so much leave. If you take it now, like it's going to mess you up later.
Yeah.
And then Ben says Space Ninjas might be the best ninjas.
This
There
is
you go,
coming
Cory.
from one of the big, if not the biggest Storm Shadow fan in the world. So it doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yep.
Look, I love Storm Shadow, and Big Bacon's just giving me crap because I always say it, and this is just my head canon because how many different iterations of G.I. Joe are there to pick from? There's tons.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head canon, Ninja and G.I. Joe starts and stops with Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander's bodyguard. That's it. Not Snake Eyes, because his card didn't even say Ninja until like 1992. So when it needs a commando, that's all there is to it. Lauren says, I would have stayed 2 days had Chad gone to PowerCon. Well, come to AR, bro. We'll hang out. So I'm always the life of the party. I will photobomb all of you. Yeah. You guys know I photobombed you guys a couple times. I did it. So that's cool. So assembly required November 3rd and 4th. All three of you will be there, correct?
That is correct.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, it is my goal to go. And anybody else that wants to hang out with these fine gentlemen and see their fantastic products, please go to Assembly Required, Des Moines, Iowa, November 3rd and 4th.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of our awesome slideshow, gentlemen. I can't thank you guys enough for your time. I really enjoyed hanging out with you.
Same, Chad.
Yeah,
we
this
really
was awesome.
appreciate it. Really, when you reached out to me, I was glad that we could find a time to work. So I know we've been trying to find some different times. So,
Yeah.
And I'm glad Cory could join in too. So,
Yeah, exactly. And that was always the thing. Like we knew that Ben wasn't going to be available, but initially when we started talking about it, I definitely wanted both of you guys on the show at the same time.
yeah, we appreciate it. It's always fun to talk toys. It's fun to talk toys with you, Chad. So we definitely a good time.
And
Yeah, this was awesome.
I'm just so happy that you guys are kind of breathing new life into, this amazing nightmare TIE fighter, and I can't wait to get it in my hands. As much as I love the original, I'm super excited for it. I don't know what else to say. It's just to me, it's one of those dream projects where once I saw you guys announce it, I was like, that's the most fucking brilliant thing I've seen in a long time. So I freaking loved it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge. We love it. It's so much fun. So we think it's going to be an incredible piece of art, and it's going to enhance everyone's collection. So
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And Cory, again, man, I'm so glad to see you on the Skeletron team. I'm so happy to hear about all the other stuff, where you're spreading your talents and just enhancing other lines and things like that. So I'm glad you came on the show. I'm glad we got a chance to hang out. I always love to hear your insights on stuff, man.
Yeah, no, this was great. You know, I can talk toys forever. So, you know, thanks for having me. Obviously, thanks to, you know, Mark and Ben for including me. And, you know, I'm always wanting to, you know, talk toys as much as possible. And, you know, especially when that's as cool as stuff as what they're doing, it's great.
I would like to talk toys with you again too, and catch up and see how you're doing on all these other lines that you're working on.
Heck yeah, man. I'm around.
Cool. Mark, Corey, thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me tonight. I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely, dude.
Thank
And
you.
thanks to everyone that's been listening too. You know, it's fun watching the chat questions come in. So thanks,
Yeah.
everybody.
And that's one thing I love about live streams, because I can sit and talk toys with people and record it and edit it and make it all, like fancy and polished. Dan Klingensmith and I did that last night, talking about Knife Force Blaster. Because I had too many live streams in a week. I mean, God forbid, that's a horrible problem to have. But if it wasn't for everybody hanging out in the chat and just the awesomeness of the guests, it wouldn't be fun. So you guys are the ones that make it fun.
Yeah.
I thank you all very much. Gentlemen, if you guys want to hang on, we can chitty chat backstage real quick. And everybody, have an awesome day. Yeah.